Hey, how's it going? My name is Ashley Rose, but once again, you can call me Ash. I am here once again after quite some time with the TNA interview. We've got Masha Slamovich here. Masha, how you been? Long time no talk. It's been quite some time since you and I've sat like across from each other, at least in one room. So how you been?
I've been good. I've been focused on the pay-per-view coming up. Everything's been moving very quickly and chaotically, just how I like it. How have you been?
I've been great. I've been busy, but I've been really good. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. And I see you have a new addition to your family there. Your dogs, they're absolutely adorable. I know y'all had Coda for a while. Not to talk too much about Akira, but I've known y'all had Coda for a while. So, I'm glad to see that you've expanded. You got another dog, absolutely adorable.
Yes, his name is Winston. I'm sure he'll make an appearance. And for everyone who is thinking about getting an Italian Greyhound, blink twice if you need help.
They're
Just
pretty
blink.
active dogs.
But
They require a lot
no,
of
they're really
attention.
fun. They're just insane.
Yeah, well, before I get started, of course, this interview is brought to you part by Phoenix Rising Cosmetics, which used to be Vampire Cosmetics. So for 20% off of all your cosmetic needs, go over there. You can click my link in the description. And of course, you can use my code AROSECP, that's Charlie Papa Echo, and you'll get 20% off of everything. So there you go. This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for them. Well, at least one of the possibilities. Well, Masha, let's get back to you. Now, you are a number one contender again for the Knockouts Championship. What's it, I know it's been a while since you've been up for the belt. I'm pretty excited. I think this might be the time that you're going to actually bring home the gold. So, what's it going to mean to you if you do, or when you do, finally win that Knockout Championship?
I think that it's been a really long time coming and it's it's really one of those finish your story kind of moments. And I really look forward to the match and feel quite confident that I will in fact be leaving with the title this time around.
It's going to be great to see you with that title. It's a beautiful new belt. You competed for the previous version of the Knockouts title, which is the Impact version. So this is the TNA one. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I've never seen a bad match of yours. Same thing with Jordynne. So it's going to be quite something to see you two go at it. You are both very strong in different ways. You are both powerhouses. So I think it's going to be a treat for like all of the fans of TNA and, maybe some new viewers as well that are just joining watching TNA at it's gradually rising.
I really think that this match is gonna bring the best out of both Jordan and myself. Like you said, for all of the TNA viewers who've been looking forward to this rematch for several years, and if it's going to be anybody's first night tuning into TNA, I think that Bound for Glory is going to be the perfect night to start watching TNA because it's going to be the best stuff we've produced all year. This pay-per-view is going to be completely off the rails. And I really implore everyone who's thinking about giving TNA a shot to tune in.
Absolutely. For everyone that hasn't seen TNA, you can, of course, watch them on Access TV. You can also get TNA Plus. You can get the app. It has the archive there. You can see a lot of, when Masha first came to the company. Amazing stuff. She has had phenomenal matches, especially her tag matches, with Killer Kelly. Those were great. Check it out. And of course, if you want to check out Bound for Glory, just scan the QR code that you're going to see right here on the screen. It's going to take you directly to Fight or Triller TV. Now, I believe that's what it's called. You'll see it, scan it, it'll take you there directly. And of course, you can see it on TNA Plus too, as well. Now, a lot of people have sent me some questions. One of them was that how are you to feel, finally being champion of TNA of the Knockouts division, which, we've gone over. They also want to know one of your most memorable matches. We know this one's going to be really badass. Go out there, you're going to kick ass like you always do, whether it's an indie show or TNA. They want to know, more or less, what is one of the most memorable matches that you've had before this?
I think it's definitely safe to say that me and Jordan's first match at Bound for Glory, like if I was to name probably like top three matches that I've had in my career in no particular order. It's definitely me and Jordan's first match of Bound for Glory. Myself versus Rina Yamashita in the main event of GCW's World on GCW in October of last year, where we had a death match. Myself versus Jacob Fatu from Revolver. And also me and Jordan once again from PWG. So actually, there's four. If anyone is able to find those and look those up, that I think they would be extremely enjoyable.
And that PWG match was awesome. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I saw it. Uh, yeah, so if anyone can see that, definitely check it out. Who do you want to see come into TNA? Because TNA, it's always had like a open door for anyone that wants to compete. Something always works out, someone always pops in and out, regardless of whatever company, independent circuit. Who do you want to see walk through that door once you're champion to come in?
I think that there is something that we ought to circle back to. And that would be myself and Shayna Baszler having a match during WrestleMania week at Bloodsport. And I think that a NXT crossover is due for us to continue what we started at Bloodsport.
What house do you want to have that match at? Would it be the NXT
Either,
house?
both, all of them
Oh,
actually. Several matches. Why not?
as far as this is a not just a pro wrestling dominant channel. Of course, this is my channel is mainly about music, alternative culture, which I do know that you were collecting vinyls or you were starting to before. Have you kept that up?
Yes, I have. I have a very quickly growing collection of vinyls. Um, Gosh, I have so many. I don't even know where to begin right now. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but it's obviously going to be very on brand for your channel. But I recently picked up a Cannibal Corpse vinyl, and it's pretty badass. I was playing it the other day, terrorizing my neighbors.
Any other particular favorites or anything you got your eye on, or is it just whatever you come across?
I mean, I just like to peruse. I like to dig and look for stuff. This is not on the metal or alternative side, but I have been looking for The Queen is Dead by the Smiths vinyl, and I still have yet to find it. I don't understand what the issue is and why there are not more Smiths vinyls out here in the world in record stores. I don't know, but that's one that I'm looking for. But I mean, aside from that, I've really just been going hard with my Spotify playlists.
Lately, I'll tell you this, like, because I go everywhere for vinyl. Barnes and Noble has been carrying a lot of Smiths vinyls. So
Oh,
I know it's like not a like, anything in like a record store or like a vinyl, collector shop, but for some reason they've been collecting, oh my gosh. They've been actually putting out more vinyls in Barnes and Noble, like the bookstore. So I
yeah.
have
I'm
been
gonna check
seeing
that
this
out.
there.
I definitely didn't think that Barnes and Nobles would be a place to look. I also didn't think that Target would be a place to look, but I did leave Target several $100s poorer because I got a bunch of vinyls.
Yeah, I see. I didn't know like Target would start, carrying vinyl. I think it's definitely something that's coming. It's rapidly coming back, vinyl collecting, which I think it's awesome. A lot of new artists are also producing vinyl again, which is cool. I'm completely digging it. It's awesome.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's cool. I know Simon's here. If y'all don't know Simon, he does a lot of like the PR work in the UK, international. He says you can also probably ship it from the UK too.
I have a better idea. I think I should go wrestle in the UK and pick up a copy myself.
There you go.
Much
There
better
you
idea.
go. There you go. As far as films, you've been watching any films lately?
Yes, I mean, I'm always on a horror kick forever. I have got to remember this movie that I recently saw. It's like about correct me if somebody can find the name of this movie because I just ran out of my house. I live 2 minutes away from a theater, so I just got up and left to go watch a movie. It's like about a couple who were on vacation and they met another couple and then they went to their house and like shit got crazy because they tried to like kidnap them. It was great. It was a thriller. And I also rewatched, I believe this is like from 1989, Leviathan. Great horror movie for the people who like the older stuff. So, like myself, I really like some obscure horror that you can like find on YouTube or weird crevices of the internet.
God, I know what movie you're talking about. I didn't see it. Where
I
they,
recommend it. Yes, I'm sure if you look at like your local theater, you'll see it playing. It's that
yeah,
one.
it's been playing. It's gonna, it's gonna bother me because I've seen like the previews to it, like all like, because I go to the theater all the time, so by myself, it's okay. It's
It's
okay.
listen, it's great going to the theater by yourself. I mean, like I said, I live very close to my local theater. They've got like $5 Wednesdays. Wednesday nights, you can catch me in the theater.
Lucky, lucky. $5 Wednesday nights. We used to have a dollar cinema in my local area
Oh
where
man, y'all would never see me again.
it would, well, after tax was like $1.75 or whatever, but still it'd be, certain films that were in theater after quite some time before they get close to actual like digital releases, or at the time, back in my day, it was DVD and Blu-ray releases. You had to go to Blockbuster, but it would be towards that time period. Those are the films that they would get like right before then. So you could see them for like $1.75, $1.25.
I mean, speaking of movies, actually, Smile 2 recently just came out, and I'm excited to see that because Smile, the first one, was excellent, I think. I wasn't even aware a second one was coming, and now it's here. So,
I hear the
when's
second
it
one's pretty
coming up
good.
shortly?
I hear the second one's pretty good. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been wanting to check it out. Um,
Same here.
I just saw Terrifier 3, so I'm not
That's
sure.
on that's on my list of things to see.
Oh,
So I've got too many movies and not enough days in the week.
yeah, I know. I won't spoil it for you, but I will say this, like I enjoyed this one more than the other ones. It's very plot based, which I like.
I'm here for it.
Your aesthetic, where'd that come from exactly? Because I know you do a lot of stuff. It just depends. I know I've seen you do like the blood splatter gear as well, which is like my favorite one.
It's also one of my favorites as well. I take inspiration from, things and people and music and art, like anything that just kind of crosses my path and I feel, drawn into it, I'll kind of run with it. So I really think the word unpredictable is a really good way to describe me, not only in the ring, but outside of the ring. And, my look, my hair and makeup choices, all of that is ever changing. You never know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what I'm going to run into in 20 minutes from now and be inspired and be like, yeah, let me lean into that. But I like to lean into things. I like to take things in different direction, explore different things. Life's too short to stick to one thing. You got to keep it fun and fresh.
I think people forget that about life. It's too short. I think along the same models, you have to, how do I say this? I heard this saying one time, which is uh, to fall in love, you have to laugh and wonder. And it's probably like one of the best like sayings I've ever heard, was to laugh and wonder, because that's all you really need to keep things exciting in life.
I certainly agree with you. And I just think there's so much living to be done that we just got to get after it and live the most that we can every day. You never know when your time's going to end, so you better make good use of what you've got.
Yeah. And I've always been under the impression of like, I never want to say what if.
Exactly. That's really what motivated me to start wrestling, I guess, at the young age of 16 was the fact that I thought to myself, I never want to be sitting there and wonder, what if I had? I'd rather just try and fail, if anything, or succeed and see where it takes me.
I never really say like the term failure. If I failed at something, I would say, okay, it's a lesson. And, it's something to be learned. What can you take away from this? And, you can always do something better. And it's kind of, whether people believe it or not, it's crazy that life kind of just circles back to originally of whatever time, place, whatever experience you had. It kind of gives you another opportunity to not necessarily try the same thing, but if it was negative, you can definitely know how to handle certain things at that time period. If it's positive, well, you could take something that's positive there and just try to revamp it the best you can. And I think people really forget that they concentrate too much or they put too much stock in the negative. And that's just my opinion. I think they dwell on that. And that's why I try not to say failure. If anything, you can always, take back from it.
Exactly. Like you said, it's there's always something to be learned. And I really think that people forget that life often does give second chances, one way or another. It might not be the exact same way, same time and how you envision it, but everything happens for a reason, everything always works out. And, you've gotta enjoy the journey more than the destination.
Exactly. It's always about the journey. And you never know what's going to come along the way. You'll be surprised. And I think that's how life and everything you got to have an appreciation and think about how wonderful that is. How beautiful in in a way, I mean, it could be kind of a dark way, like maybe a morbid way when it comes to certain things, but really know what's going to come along. It'll surprise you. And sometimes it's always better and you're going to be like, well, it's kind of a good thing it didn't work out that way.
Exactly. You never know until eventually you learn.
Yeah, exactly. So that being said, what's your favorite horror movie? It's a cliche question.
Oh my God. To pick a favorite is so hard.
Pick your top five.
Lord, that's even harder. I'm like, there's so many. When someone asks me this question, I'm always like, great, now I've forgotten every movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Um, I always bring this one up because I really enjoy it. Train to Busan, great zombie movie. And I think there was, and again, I forget the names of movies so much, but I think it was like The Sickness or something like that, where it was like along the same idea of like pandemics took people out and they're in this building. I love a good like 28 Days Later kind of movie. You know what I mean? So
You like
yeah, that
like a
answer you will.
survival, like a survival horror. Like you,
Yeah, yeah, like survival horror because that stuff is always, it's a lot scarier for something that could like realistically happen. Like we clearly a viral outbreak and like pandemic is a very realistic thing that can happen as opposed to like a zombie apocalypse tomorrow. So I think the more realistic it is, the more terrifying it is. And I would actually like to be scared when I watch a movie.
out of all the films you watched in your life, which is one that actually frightened you the most that you can think of? It doesn't matter what age you were when you saw it.
Oh, yes. Actually, I I have a very vivid memory of being a child and watching War of Worlds with my parents and being terrified of that alien who like sucked the blood out of that dude. And I was like, holy fuck, this is terrifying. That was the one moment that stuck with me as a kid where I was like, I'm traumatized.
War Worlds. Actually, when it first came out, you wouldn't be the first one to be afraid of it. When it first came out, it was originally done on audio on the radio, but yet they did not. I guess they kind of failed to tell people that it was an audio book that they were playing. So when it started, people actually realistically thought that it was actually happening.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think I do remember hearing something like that at some point.
As far as classic horror, anything you particularly like, genre wise?
There's always something oh, hello, Winston. At the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite recall. I mean, first of all, The Shining is great when it comes to like classic horror, right? But there's definitely movies that have been older than that I've watched. I just can't recall the name of them. Oh, you know what? I think I may have brought this up here or at another podcast or something that I've done. But the first horror movie that came out in the Soviet Union called V, the letter V and then two E's following it. It's available for free on YouTube, and I think everyone should watch it. It's like at the time it was considered like terrifying. People in Russia were losing their minds. They were like hiding their children. They were like, this is the scariest thing ever. And when you watch it back, you're like, this is insane. The CGI is horrible in the best possible ways. And I really think everyone ought to watch it. It's actually one of my favorites. I've watched it several times.
I've actually never seen it, but I will check it out.
It's on YouTube and I think it's got subtitles, so it's great.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Now, before we close out, since this is, very much a music film channel based off of alternative culture, if you can have anyone play a new theme song for you or make you a new theme song, I want you to just go for the moon on this one. Who would you like?
Not gonna say it. There's a new theme song coming at Bound for Glory. Stay tuned. That's my answer.
All right, well, that sounds cool. I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you, and I really hope this is the time that you get to bring home the gold. So I think you deserve it.
I'm looking forward to pushing myself to the edge and over the limit. And I'm extremely excited for the pay-per-view, and I hope everyone is just as excited as I am.
Absolutely. Anything you want to say as far as to your fans, anyone out there that will be watching this?
I just want to thank everyone as always for their support, and I want everyone to know that this battle and this journey would not be possible without everybody cheering me on and everyone believing in me. So believe in me the way you believe in Joe Hendry.
Because everyone's believing in Joe Hendry. Oh my gosh, I can talk right today. Everyone believes in Joe Hendry. And it's crazy because, I remember when Joe got there, that song did not really pick up until like it took some time. Let's be honest, it took a little bit. But it was a good song. So I'm glad, for his
Now it's a sensation.
yeah, now it's a sensation. He's a chart topper, he's everywhere. So once again, check out TNA Wrestling's Bound for Glory. You can do it when you scan the QR code. You can watch it on Triller TV, also previously known as Fight TV. And of course, you can download the TNA Plus app and check out TNA Wrestling every week, Thursday night on Access TV. Bye.
Bye.